I want you to imagine a world where we are divided by something so simple as preference for coffee or tea. Now I know this sounds whimsical, but bear with me for a minute. The shop you go to in the morning to get your hot drink only serves one of these two. All your friends prefer the same drink as you. All your family prefer the same drink as you. Even all your colleagues prefer the same drink as you. I want you to imagine a world where every single interaction in your daily life is dictated by what you prefer to drink in the morning. Grocery stores are separate. Gyms are separate. Even online interactions are separate. So, suppose you're a coffee drinker and you walk to the shop in the morning, and it's full of other coffee drinkers, of course, and they're all having lively discussions, but no one's disagreeing on anything. And across the street, where the tea drinkers get their tea, all they're talking about is how tea is great and coffee is terrible. And here, all you hear is how coffee is great and tea is terrible. No one's disagreeing on anything. And you've been told that your whole life, and you've believed it without even doubting it or even trying tea. I want you to see just how dangerous this is for our society. I mean, coffee shops, the place where new ideas spread, debate flourished, and revolutions began, are now a place of ideological homogeneity. Now, replace coffee and tea with Canadian political parties, and you'll begin to see where I'm going with this. Because though we're not there yet, this is the reality we're headed towards in Canada, this highly polarized reality. And so the questions I want to answer today is, what's going on in Canada with respect to polarization? Because it's not quite what you think, and what can you do about it? So, though we're not diverging to the poles, becoming more extreme in our views, what we are is becoming more partisan in our views. That means that different political beliefs and being member of a party are becoming more related. The correlation between having different political beliefs is increasing. So all this simply means is that maybe coffee drinkers like dogs, right? And it's becoming more and more unlikely to find a coffee drinker that doesn't like dogs. So whereas Canadian political parties used to be big tents, where you'd find people with all sorts of different but similar beliefs, where debate would flourish, and they would have arguments to create constructive party policy to bring to Ottawa. Now, it's the parties dictating what people believe. People are becoming more consistent in their views. Now, what's also happening is that we're hating more, all the simply. The distance in how much we like people from opposing parties and how much we like people from our own party is growing. The coffee drinkers just hate the tea drinkers. They can't even stand being in the same room as them. It's pretty simple. And we're all also becoming more misconceiving. We have more misconceptions, right? The coffee drinkers just hate the tea drinkers, but they also think they're out to get their right to drink coffee, which is just simply not the case. And so people are becoming increasingly believing and overestimating the share of certain groups in political parties, and they're increasingly overestimating how extreme people from opposing parties are. Now, these are all clearly problems, but I think there's a fundamental issue underlying all of these. That's more of a problem, and that is a failure of discourse. The failure to connect with people we disagree with. The failure to communicate with the other side. Because if we're only talking with people that agree with us, people that share the same beliefs, and only reinforcing those beliefs, then no wonder we're going to think the people that disagree with us are crazy. No wonder we're going to hate them. And if these existing beliefs are only being reinforced, then no wonder political parties are becoming akin to bubbles or echo chambers, where the ideas of the people within them are becoming more ideologically homogenous, if we're not connecting with people who disagree with us, if our existing beliefs are not being challenged. And so this is what is dangerous about polarization in Canada. And it's this disagreement, this discussion, this debate that is important for a healthy democracy. So let's take a break from polarization for a minute and imagine a second hypothetical reality. One where people still prefer coffee and tea, but as a coffee drinker, you're not scared to have a cup of tea once in a while. And when you walk into your coffee shop, sure, it'll be full of coffee drinkers, but you'll have a few tea drinkers in there as well, and they're having lively conversations, lively disagreements, debate about the relative merits of coffee and tea. But most importantly, you're not afraid to cross the street and go talk to the tea drinkers, have a chat with them, debate with them. Why do they like tea? And so, this is the reality that I want to work towards in Canada. And we can do this together. So I have 2 key points that I want you to take away from this talk to move together towards a better, less polarized Canada. And the first is to simply have a chat. Call up an old friend, a colleague, maybe a family member. Find someone that you respect, but someone that you disagree with. And get in the weeds about politics with them. I know it might be uncomfortable or difficult, but this is the important part. It is with this disagreement that we break this trend of ideological homogeneity within political parties. And it's with disagreement that we build a more healthy democracy. And this brings me to my second takeaway. Embrace disagreement. Because let's be real, not all disagreements are going to end in mutual agreements. That's just not the reality. And besides, disagreement is important for a healthy democracy. People are going to have different opinions, and that's important. But so, when you find someone to have a chat with, be open to their new ideas and criticize them. But you need to be fine with simply leading the conversation with disagreements. Because the point of these debates is not to leave with mutual agreement, but to find some common ground and see where these disagreements stem from and understand where they're coming from. Because it is when you understand that where the other side is coming from that we stop having these misconceptions. We stop thinking that they're so extreme. And that's where we stop hating them. That's where we can stand them and have a more integrated society. And so it is with these 2 key points, simply having a chat and embracing disagreement, that we can work together towards a better Canada, a less polarized Canada. Thank you.